We'll just start. So this is the annual meeting of Pickmere Parish Council. So to start off, we have to elect a chairman for the next year. So we have any nominations for chairman?
I'd like to nominate you.
Any seconder for you,
Any seconder for you?
Chris? Any other nominations for chair? Okay. Can we have a vote then on you for chair?
Vote yourself.
No. Oh, yeah. Any votes against? 1, 2 against, 3 against. Thank you very much for the support. Okay, moving on to
Evening.
moving on to item 2, which is to elect a vice chairman. I would like to nominate Chris if you're willing to stand. We have a seconder. Okay. Okay. So any other
I would like to nominate Simon for vice chair.
seconder for Simon? Okay. So any other nominations for vice chair? Okay. So votes for Chris.
I think protocol is we both say something, then we leave the room and the vote is taken and not the room. I don't remember either in the past. That's how it's been done in the past, so I'm just. I just want to get it right.
I'm trying to think if I've ever come across whether there are two candidates. It's up to you whether you leave the room or not.
I don't know.
Would you prefer to leave the room?
Not first, but I think
So
Chris should have a
it's
say.
better not leave, isn't it? People?
Would you like to say any words in support of your being the vice chair? You don't have
No,
to. Okay.
I stand on my past performance. Whatever people think of that. No, erase that bit. That's the first sentence.
Somebody you want to say?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure about this, but I just think that we need to mix things up a bit. I think it'd be good to see a different vice chair in on a regular basis, a yearly basis, just to bring in some new ideas and to support you. And I think I've got past experience which I can bring to the court, which I haven't really been able to do this year. So I just think that I can bring something different. I'm not saying Chris hasn't done a good job. I just think I can bring something different to it this year, and maybe we look for a new person next year. But for this year, it's got to be worth having a change.
But I understand.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest that what I do is give you each a piece of paper and you write down the initials of the person you'd like to be vice chairman. It doesn't have to be an open vote.
Okay.
That's quite a good way of doing it, and it means that you both don't have to leave the room and you can both put your vote in.
Well, I don't
That was
think we can
my
vote.
question. How do they vote?
Well,
I don't think we can vote.
you could vote for Chris if you wanted to. I'm not saying you would, but you know,
So self-Amanda.
I just thought that we couldn't actually be involved in the vote as we were being voted for.
I
I mean,
Sorry,
it doesn't really
yes.
make any difference because if you're writing each other, you can both.
No, I don't. I'm just checking to make sure we get it right.
That's a Chris has left.
No.
Stop. Yeah, it's just gone back.
Okay, that's a good idea, Amanda. Give them all a piece of paper.
right, okay.
Oh, on the Wi-Fi. I am, yeah. I think so. So it just automatically left. Yeah.
I've got an empty piece of paper.
Chris, have you got an empty piece of paper?
What?
You got a spare piece of paper? Chris has got a spare piece here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you just split that into 8 and then.
And then can they vote for themselves? And can they not vote?
I'm going to have to check because I don't think I've been
Well,
in
well,
this position.
they don't vote. They either don't vote or they can vote for them.
I was under the impression that
But that would make enough vote.
I think you just don't vote.
No, because there's two people up for it. It's like the same. One with your-
One person.
Well, that's not me.
I like that feature. I find it more than all right.
But I.
Okay, Lorraine, I'm gonna go on the line of that they're not supposed to vote.
I will double check that for you quickly while you're doing your vote.
But again, to cover it bit, are you both happy not to vote?
Yep, I'm happy not to vote, Chris.
Sorry that I don't know that off the top of my head.
Chris, are you happy not to vote? We can't resolve it.
Oh, you've got it.
Are you happy not to vote? We can't come to a conclusion in.
If that's the formal way to do it, yes, of course.
Apologies for that.
Thank you.
I think I'd like confirmation it is the formal way to do it.
Just looking at your standing orders that you're about to adopt.
I don't remember mentioning anything about
No,
the full matter of how the vote took place.
It tells you that the annual meeting, you need to put your chairman and maybe even. Oh, put out on the hot, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Every day at school.
Yeah.
that's a simple way of doing it, isn't it? Chris can abstain, if we both abstain, then doesn't affect the final vote, does it? We have voted.
As an abstention.
I know, it's
So we've got Jackie Weaver and Steve Lamb.
It doesn't say you can't vote, it says the election of the chairman should be the first, so then you've got a chairman in the case of an inequality of votes, and then it said the same for the vice chairman. Just says you vote, it doesn't say that you have to leave the room, it doesn't say that nominees can't vote.
Okay, I mean, I'm happy either way.
So that's
Yeah, I just want,
Chris, you
I just want-
yourself.
I
that,
don't want to
You can't vote.
I don't think Stein has.
well, he's the.
Are you voting, Simon?
it's the local government act 72, doesn't say that you can't vote, and that's what you will do.
The chairman. Yes, I mean, I understand, I could vote.
I think you're the.
Well, you're the chairman, so it doesn't matter.
There you go.
No, but I mean, that's the point of order.
I think you're
Well, you
the
are-
chair
you can't
is
have
the
it.
chair is casting vote if there's a draw.
Chair votes and then also have it cast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, have I got all the votes in?
Did we finish part one? That's it.
Yeah, he signed it
Ah,
here.
okay.
You got the right.
Right.
Chris has got the majority of votes.
Well then, Chris.
Thank you.
That's it, thanks. We'll bet you just can. No apologies for absence, because we're.
Just swap that.
Oh, sorry. I've got the answer. Okay. So, approve and authorise the signings of the minutes held on the 4th of April. Under attendance, so you'll have to tell me whether I can sign them.
You can sign them. We've done
That's fine.
Yeah.
Then they can have to tell me.
Sorry.
Everyone happy with the minutes?
Yeah.
The only problem is. Just sign this copy.
I've got nothing to say.
But last time it won't come up. I don't know why.
Civil stations.
Yeah, just-
Plus and everyone else.
so no apology.
So, I stand on to that. Yeah, that's one of my. No, so.
So were there any matters arising from the minutes last week?
I've got one in terms of the flagpole. I had to try and find out if it needed planning permission. It's over 4.6 metres and planning won't tell me whether it needs it or not, but they send me some documentation to release. But my understanding of that documentation is that you don't require planning permission. So as of now, I haven't ordered it, but I will get it ordered.
Thank you.
Now that I've had that.
Did, have we decided where it's going?
Oh, I think
That's totally different ideas.
Sorry, what was that?
the flagpole.
Oh, the flagpole.
Where it goes.
It's going on the top of Clover Drive.
Just it's not
on this,
No, I think
obviously
that
not been agreed.
we did work.
I think that we all agreed that it wasn't safe to go down on the IROS.
Which side? I worry about it being where the original Millennium Dome thing is.
Yeah.
Because if the flag's blowing about, it could annoy the neighbours nearby.
Yeah.
So I think it should be in the main part, yeah.
That's what I said. It's
Very close to where the gates are then. Because it's prominent there, where the trees are. As you come round, you know, the trees that,
sounds like it's not decided.
the cherry
Would you
trees.
like to decide it now? Do you want to?
You can do it as a matter of mind.
Perhaps where that little oak is planted, outside that.
There's too many trees around. Isn't
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that black hole.
Leave it away from trees.
It would go on the middle bit
Up top,
of Clover Drive near the fence.
Oh, by the
But there's
fence,
no trees there, is there?
yeah.
And it's easy
And
for
it's
mowing
away
now.
from
What it could be.
houses and it would be easy to continue mowing.
What about the other side by the
Well, that's what we said, that it would be,
It would be the nicest there.
it would be a distraction though to the people in the houses there.
Could not be
Do
all.
it the next meeting maybe,
Yeah.
because I've got to order it yet. It's not arrived. So if it
Okay.
arrives, do you want to make a final decision? Do you want to have a think about it, make a final decision at the next meeting?
The only thing that we're thinking is it would like it up really for
D-Day.
the D-Day really.
Absolutely.
I'd probably like to, we can make a decision on it, or
Yeah.
if we can have a site visit down there and everybody decide, you know, everybody meet up at Clover Drive.
Do we go and ask the people in the houses would they object?
But if it was on the, by the Cheshire fence side, on the entrance, surely that would be okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
then
I think it's
where the entrance.
Because that site isn't really used,
where
that would be the ideal place for it.
Goes across. It went away from the both sides. And it's got a chain across.
If I can go my front garden, I don't mind.
So do you want to agree that it's going
As
as you turn in
Yeah,
on the left.
to the left.
to the left-hand side? Okay,
To the right.
You just said left.
you just said left.
Yeah.
Near the sphere.
Yeah.
So where the tap goes across. No, I said by the left. On the left, yeah, by the
I think on the sphere side.
I do.
I think it's far enough from the house.
Because also children play football
On
on
the other
the,
side.
on the other side, so I think that it would become a bit of a problem.
I think it makes pretty gold.
Go get to.
Okay.
Okay,
Near the
right,
sphere on the left-hand side.
How much are the flags? Flag. What flag? Because it's their particular, I mean, you have to get specific ones, don't you, so they actually.
Yeah.
They aren't cheap.
No, I can't tell you off the top of the head. The donation does cover the cost of the flag and the pole. But on the minutes, it says how much the
So,
running costs are going to be.
Yes.
yeah, I've seen the running costs. I've seen one, installation cost
120.
120.
Yeah,
The donation is the flag
Donation,
and flag.
yeah.
So they're paying for
Pack on
whatever
that.
it costs. The flag and flag.
It's a,
Yeah.
it's a union flag there.
Yes,
it is.
There's no council charge, no council tax.
You and your small print.
well, the council will pay the £120.
Thank goodness.
But that was in the motion, maybe.
You ready?
Yeah, okay. Any other matters arising?
Here we go. Approve the minutes from the annual parish meeting.
Yeah, you just have to note them,
Oh,
really.
no, okay.
Note them. You will have a copy of those, so they have to do them.
So approve them at the next.
Can I ask just one thing relating to them?
You can.
Just in that you mentioned the work with the Police and Crime Commissioner. we obviously now have a new police and crime commissioner. Could we formally contact them and ask them to continue with the activities we've been doing so far?
Yes.
I'll propose that.
Good idea.
I did speak to Susie and she said that they were happy to do that with you. I'm sure.
So that wasn't on the discussion just then. So do we want to contact the other councillors?
I think Nick, you mentioned it, didn't you? That,
I mentioned it on the council WhatsApp group, and that,
Yeah.
but they should do that.
I mean, it's,
Probably discussing what's in this week.
Okay.
You can discuss it, but you can't assume that people know what.
So it's whether we just contact them or whether we do the extra stage of getting the other local parish councils to join us in jointly contacting.
I think they probably will as well.
But I think initially we just contact as a parish, welcome them on board and hoping they'll continue the good work.
Yeah, and also I think it makes more effective all parish councils write to him rather than we all join together and write to him.
And I mean, perhaps the after one is to then join together and like to join one afterwards, but just as a,
Yeah,
we welcome.
And then I think we should ask them when the next meeting is, because it's a change of person, it's not a change of office.
Yes, and Dave wasn't set because it's
Okay.
Mhm.
Anything else from the parish meeting? No.
No, not from me. No.
Okay, so update on the action list, so hopefully going forward, I'll make a more narrative update rather than quote figures at you, because I appreciate it. I love figures, percentages, and statistics, but most people don't. So I'll come with a sort of highlight of the month. I think certainly in the last month, one of the highlights has been the jumper sale. All those people, which I've done, who helped with that to raise nearly £1,000 from, you could say, other people's junk is
Well,
remarkable.
it was remarkable, and it's still coming in. The money is still coming in.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, just by selling online, and I'm going to do a car boot the week after. Not this Sunday, Sunday. Amazing. People were amazing.
And then the other thing's been good. I've been contacted by a number of people, mainly companies, about sponsoring play. So currently we have 3 offers, which we're discussing with them. What their level of interest obviously is how long is a piece of string question. How much money we need. Well, it depends how expensive we want our town to be and whether we want a zip line. So I mean with one on Monday and I'll
Zip line was one of the favourites that came out of the.
as long as you've got the price on, let them know.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, declaration of interest. So any financial interests or other interest that should be declared on any item that's on today's
No.
agenda.
No.
Really happy they're in. Okay. Oh, moving on. Members of the public or member of the public. Would you like to speak for 15 minutes? No, 3 minutes.
It didn't take that long, but depends on the answer really. I guess. I just wondered, point 11, general power of competence. What's that? What does that mean? It's on the agenda.
so parish councils have legal and financial regulations that they have to work to. And then the government introduced the power of competence. So if you have a clerk who is CILCA qualified, and if you have a third of the members of your council who are elected, or 2/3, anyway, the council falls within it, then you get the general power of competence. So I don't have to go and look for legislation that allows that spending, as long as that spending is something that a member of the public would expect to be done.
Right.
Generally, as long as it falls within, the remit, then you can spend money, the council can spend money on what it wants to without having to go and look for legislation. There's only ever a few times when it happens. There's legislation covers most things, but there are a few things that sometimes fall between the gaps, and this council can spend that money.
And am I right thinking that could include selling off buildings or things like that, or?
Oh, well,
is it-
that's different. A parish council can sell off its assets anyway. They don't have to have a general power of competency to do that. There's legislation to allow them to sell their assets or dispose of their assets.
Right, without a public forum to do that. you know, people don't have a say within the parish.
To sell off an asset.
Yeah. I'm just trying to understand kind of why it's on the agenda.
It gives the council more powers, and it gives me an easier job in a way, because I'm qualified and because everybody's elected. So the presumption is I know what I'm talking about, and the council are elected, so they know what the residents want, so that you can go forward
Right.
and do what the village wants.
To explain it another way, to explain it another way, a council can only do what the legislation says it can do.
Right.
You can't say, well, he doesn't say anything about this, so we can do that. With this, we can do what a reasonable person would do.
Right.
So that gives us more, I guess, flexibility.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
still have to come to council. We still have to decide as a council. It still has to be done in the public eye of
Right.
the
So,
residents.
for instance, if you wanted to put a fence around the lake, for instance, which was just, you know, that it wouldn't be a situation like that, that the villagers wouldn't have a say in it, that the council could just forge ahead without consultation. It's not that sort of situation. Just the words power of competence.
Yeah.
And if it's been woolly on the, I'm trying to understand
I mean,
where the lines are, you know?
that's what the government
Yeah.
told us. And we're operating to it now because we've already adapted it for last year.
Right.
So it's already in action. So everything we're doing is to that one.
But it's on the agenda, it's almost.
Has to be done.
Every year.
That has to be done down the way.
So that will run until next May. So even if I leave,
Yeah.
it will run till next May. This council now has the general power competence until next May.
Yeah, thank you. I just thought there was something new and I thought, hang on there.
Well, it probably is because the previous clerk wasn't qualified.
Yeah,
So the council's only had it since August, September when I joined.
okay. Right, yeah.
I just want to point out.
The numbering's wrong, I know, I've just noticed, I'm crossing it out. That was my deep cry, sorry.
No, it's just that, just in case we go back and refer
Yeah.
somewhere.
Get me right on a minute.
Okay. So moving on to item 5, report from award council on fisheries matter. Nothing from fisheries.
No.
I assume nothing from the police.
No, I have said to police that I'm not going to put them on as a agenda item every month because it's very rare that he comes. So what I do is notify him of the meeting, asking if there's anything that wants to go on. I'm not just going to, I don't think I'm going to have an agenda item, it just says nothing every month. And I'm sure he'll be back to me with anything.
Okay. So the next item is to discuss and adopt the revised standing orders 2024. That was all circulated to you beforehand. So this is the document produced by the learning people of England.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone's got any comments on that. So we'll be replacing our current standards with the new up-to-date version.
I couldn't spot any major change. There's nothing jumped out.
Very similar. To get a comparison. Software.
The only thing that I haven't thought about is that about members of the public can only make representations to items that are on the agenda.
So you have a public forum.
Yeah, can that not be changed? Because otherwise we no longer have the resident surgery. We don't have the council surgery anymore. So in fact, residents don't have a time or an opportunity to say, well, what about this tree down here?
Well, residents have the public forum in which they can speak,
But
but you don't have to deal with that.
But it's only an agenda item, it says.
Yes, but no, the public forum still says if but a member of public can only join in an actual agenda item. You can't have somebody turn up and ask you questions without being warned about it. You can't do that for councillors either. Have to be on the agenda to be discussed.
Right, because previously we've always been able to in the forum, even if it wasn't on the agenda at one time, we could bring an issue up.
You can.
We wouldn't get responded
Yeah,
to.
you can still
But
do
this
that.
actually says on the standing orders, it says that's on the agenda.
Which one
If there's,
is that?
I was looking at it to go to see.
yeah, so a member of the public can come, raise things at a public forum, and it's on there that you're allowed 15 minutes and
Yeah,
3 minutes each.
and it doesn't have to be an agenda item,
But no, they can say whatever they want in the public
because
forum.
that's a misconception that's gone around the village, if you like, and gone around a lot of people who come, that they can only stand up and say their 3 minutes worth on what's on the agenda.
And I think that was perceived by the Annual Parish Council.
No, they can say what they want.
Right, well, that's always used to be, and then it was stopped, and it was only items on the agenda, and that's still sort of the feeling within the village.
I mean, the only thing that the village have all got, they've all got that they can actually write into the clerk, they can write into.
Yeah, that was always a way though, it's always
And
an easy way to stand up in front of the council and say,
they can use the volunteer, you know, the box where they can send something in, like what's just been suggested now, where people have started to write in about any items they would like about the village hall.
well, hopefully then that the message will get out of anybody. reads
But
this.
nothing's changed. That's always been in the standing order. I've not changed that.
Yeah, no, it was in the
Public forum's always been in the
Previous.
standing order.
some previous times.
And I've not changed that at all. So you're still,
So by adopting this now, they can say
and that,
items.
and that was previously in the standing orders as
Yeah.
well. But the public interaction, that nothing's changed.
I just wanted to make clear. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
thank you.
But if we want to continue with the public forum, it's fallen off because of bookings of the hall. We still have
Surgery.
The
surgery. Surgery.
Yeah, yeah, I
We
get
can still have the surgery, yeah.
The surgery was once every 2, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So we can arrange for that to happen if people want it to happen. And also, you know, the people want to talk to their favourite councillor and ask them to put onto the agenda, that it can be
yeah.
discussed.
I think that's a good idea because it just means that we've got another level of interaction that the residents can use.
And certainly, if anyone in the village wants to talk to me about anything, subject to my workload, often found in the farm pub drinking coffee. So I'm happy to talk to anyone. Anything they want to bring up.
So I don't think we can, well,
Think of the public forum as the public bringing things to you.
Mm.
And obviously, many of the things they bring to you, you have no previous knowledge of, so it's not fair
That's why
to
there's no
ask you
ever.
to discuss
Yeah,
that
there's no
at the
ever.
meeting. But if there is an agenda item,
Yeah.
then the public can make representation about
Yeah.
that agenda item,
And we can go back to having the surgery at some point.
Yes.
if you want to. There's nothing stopping you
Well, I
doing
think
that.
we
Yeah.
can use the pavilion, we can use this building when it's not being used.
should we formally discuss that at the next meeting and come up with a plan for how we're going to do it?
Yeah.
Or-
Good idea.
Yeah. I mean, the surgery is just to put half an hour before every other meeting.
Or does it have to be on the same night as the parish council?
No.
No,
So we can have it any time. Well,
So could I suggest then that, I don't know, maybe Alison take that as a come with a suggestion of how we could do it? Rather than have a big one right in it.
Okay, for the next.
But also if anyone has any ideas of how we can do it, I mean, I think we use the pavilion.
Yeah.
Jungle storm.
Yeah.
There
Have
might be other ways.
specific dates.
I mean, there's also nights available here, isn't there?
No. Not many.
No, but there is still some, you get to have it. Even if
It
it's.
doesn't have to be a formal meeting, right?
No.
We can come talk to their councillor in
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to ask everyone to put their hands up if they're okay to adopt the standing orders, just so that we get it. Yeah. Okay. You okay with the standing orders? Okay, good.
Okay. The next item is to discuss and adopt revised financial regulations for 2024.
So I've included the important bit in there, so you can see. And that's no change to what were in previous financial regulations. They were there. And that, I think it's just becoming more and more difficult for people to get quotes. So up to 750, no requirement for more than one quote, between 750 and 3,000, an attempt. So you don't have to have 2 quotes, but I have to attempt to get 2 quotes. And over 3,000 attempt to provide 3 quotes, and obviously over 25,000 that's to go through the tender process. And you don't have to accept the lowest quote. You can accept the quote that suits your council the best. Sorry,
You have a question?
Sorry, just, I thought it actually said. Where are we? It is in 11.1,
Have I missed a note?
11.16B or something. No, it says, when the council is to enter into a contract with more than 3,000, less than 25,000, the clerk or RFO shall obtain 3 quotes.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't put the word attempted. Maybe I
It
should
doesn't
put the
say
word
attempt or
attempted.
strive. It
Okay.
does for the ones you say
Yeah.
between 3,000 and 750, but for between 3,000 and 25,000, it doesn't say.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of the problems we had getting 3
I know.
quotes for the roof. We wouldn't be able to go ahead with just 2 quotes according to that wording.
No, we got 3. Do you want me to change it to strive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine, but we need to,
I can do that. I can change that word. And then if you're okay with the rest of the document, if you agree, I'll change that word. You're right, it is difficult.
Then moving on to 8 is to discuss the updated financial risk assessment.
Sorry, this is your admin meeting for the rest of the year. Once you've got these all signed off, that's it.
So that I was the 3. I wasn't sure whether we had a problem.
Where?
Recommendations to follow up. There was nothing there.
Oh, that's the internal audit.
Yeah.
We're on
Oh, sorry.
financial regulations now.
Okay, well done.
That's right. No, we're on the financial risk assessment. So it's it's procedures that could go wrong in terms of financing. And the highlighted risks identified, and then I've changed quite a lot to the level of risk to low because they were all high on the previous one, and I don't know why, because that would be very sad. But it picks up on everything: bank errors, the fact that I could, not reconcile correctly, banking inadequate checks and stuff like that. This is really important. This gets checked on your internal audit. So it's just saying that you've got procedures to deal with all of them, which you do now. And we get you just sign the bottom of that, and if you're okay with that, you're all okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only question I had, the only one on there that's high risk is the employees' actions taken by staff.
Yeah.
Which I emailed you about.
Yeah.
To clarify. So what you said, that is the risk that you give us the wrong advice.
Yeah.
And therefore we do something that we shouldn't do
Yeah.
based on your advice.
And you insured against that.
So is that high risk?
I know. I'd hope not. Maybe I should change it to medium. Would I change it to medium? It was high risk previously, and I thought, oh.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a subjective,
So in terms of risk, the risks are that it's likely to happen,
Yeah,
which I would hope not.
yeah,
Or
it may happen.
it may happen and the effect is big,
Mm.
which we're insured against.
Yeah.
So
but
even if it happened, we're insured. So is it high risk?
Change it to medium?
is this a standard
Yes,
format?
yeah,
Because, I mean, in Irish, what we do is we go, well, this thing that causes death is high risk,
yeah,
and then you mitigate, and then the risk is reduced
Yeah.
by the mitigation. So, but this seems to be because the event would be high risk if it happened.
oh, I see.
But then
Ah,
you mitigate
right.
and say, well, we've got insurance, and then it becomes low. But,
Medium.
So
Okay,
which one are we recording? The high risk or the mitigated?
but this is the normal way of doing it in council, then it's not high because you've mitigated it. This is the mitigated risk.
maybe I've read it wrong. Maybe it should be that if that happened, it would be a high risk, and you're insured against it.
Yeah, but at the moment, this is the mitigated risk. The actual risk today.
Yeah.
Not potential risk if we didn't do anything.
Yeah,
If that's true, then I think Nick's right. It should
that's
be
how
medium.
I've read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's medium.
Okay.
It's just a different way of presenting the same thing.
Okay.
Mm. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to change it to medium and just initial it? And they're the documents that you're running the council by next year, really. But it shows you've already.
Okay, so next thing is to agree future meetings. We've had some meetings put out. That's just, I don't know whether it has any comments on that.
First Thursday of every month.
Two comments. One, there isn't one for next May. So if May is the meeting where we normally do the admin and set the dates, we haven't actually got a meeting planned to do that.
No, that's true. You sign up first
Yeah.
Thursday, yeah?
1st of May is the first Thursday.
Oh,
As the annual meeting.
the annual one you can set. The annual parish meeting.
Not the parish.
The
The annual parish council meeting is the 1st of May. Would you prefer it on the 1st or 8th of May? It'll have to be the 1st, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll add the 1st of May onto that.
First isn't the Monday, is it?
No, it's the Thursday.
It's just to confirm, standing orders, and it says the annual. Meeting we talked about should be held at 6 o'clock.
You don't have to hold it at 6 o'clock. If there's no other dead time given, it's held at 6 o'clock. You don't have to hold it at 6 o'clock. Why?
We're approving it, and that's to do it.
No, if you don't put a time out, then it's held at 6 o'clock. I don't know why they do that. You can do that. Yeah, yeah.
And
For the annual parish meeting.
it's
Yeah, I don't know why they give you a greater minds than mine, put that document together, and I don't know where.
Well, I read it, but-
It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
why is that?
That's the default time if you.
that's strange.
Sorry, my second point on the dates was.
Yeah.
We know there's going to be a general election the next year. It might fall in one of these dates. Could we set an agreement now that if it falls on one of these dates, we have our meeting the following week?
Yeah,
Rather than having to, because they may only do 5 weeks before,
okay, yeah.
so they might struggle to.
Did you say next year?
In the next year.
Oh,
in the
next year.
Well, these dates can be moved if,
Yeah.
we can move the date,
Yeah.
can't we, in a meet.
But I'll know.
Previous meetings, can't
I mean, it makes sense to have it, I mean, in terms of saying just, any election, so we have the pre-supply commission.
Yeah,
just
you
say,
just moved
if
it.
there's clashes, we'll
Yeah.
move it by 1 week.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Why don't we just have that as a
Yeah.
standing agreed date? then?
So any election
yeah, okay.
makes sense. And your third one.
No, it's two.
Okay, two. And the only part I thought was, I think historically we haven't had a meeting in August.
No, you haven't.
No, we haven't. It was Jackie Weaver who said that there was been no meeting.
But somebody asked me for a meeting in August. so
We
I
did
put
have
it on.
one last year.
Yeah, we did.
You did.
Jackie Weaver had said
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
used to be that farming,
Yeah, oh, of course, it was.
and now that doesn't come out.
One in January.
And you didn't have one in December. So I put the
We
5th
moved
of
to
December because
I thought we didn't have one in January.
Yeah.
January we only missed out.
It's not in June.
no, you had one on the 30th of November.
Yeah,
Moved
did.
moved
That
to
was
December,
December.
we had two in November.
Yeah.
Because
So these are the first Thursdays of the month. If you want to move them, please feel free to move them. You don't have to have a meeting in August if you don't want to. And you don't have to have the December one if you don't want to.
I always think it's good to have one, just keeps us in touch.
Well, that was the problem we got last year, is that we moved the December to November. You didn't have a January, and December got to February, we were here 1 minute ago, we saying, right, let's.
It's nearly 2.5 months or something, haven't it? It's been more than 2 months,
Okay.
that felt too long.
So
I
let's,
think we need the December one, because it's set in the preset, isn't it? Or
You might just squeeze it into January if you're lucky. But
you need that January.
the last year we did have.
you need either the 5th of December or the one at the end of November. Yeah.
I think the August one also was because it was just over the holiday period,
Yeah.
so people were unavailable if residents were unavailable to attend because of that. I think that was the other thing.
You know this one, yeah?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
let's
okay.
go with this.
Okay.
Moving on, 10.1, note the current financial position.
Okay, that's the 29th of April. That's your balance for 29th of April. Okay, so noted, balances, lovely.
Okay, no new payments made or to be made.
Okay, so I've had to buy Microsoft because the subscription ran out on Outlook, so nothing was saving.
Oh, is that what went wrong?
Yeah.
My email's still on send at the moment.
No, mine don't.
They don't send from you.
No, they're just not.
I have to log out,
I've tried to send.
switch it all off completely,
Tried to email
then log back in again.
people today.
And do that 2 or 3 times, and then eventually they'll go. Otherwise, they just sit in the outbox.
That's been a recurring issue with the
Yeah,
market.
through Outlook as well.
Say what?
Mine are going into drafts. It's like a draft that
Yeah.
doesn't send.
It did that, and then I stopped it from doing that, and now they just sit in Outlook. Outbox saying sending.
So originally, it only happened to me when I was travelling,
It's on iMac.
but this time it happened to me when I was
Yeah.
actually in the country. So I thought it was some security thing that said, "Oh, you're overseas, you could possibly remote." But it turned out not to be true.
Okay. Does everybody use Outlook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried using Thunderbird or something like that?
I don't use Outlook, I use Apple Mail and answer to a mail.
Okay. I don't know if it's possible, but if you try setting up another mail catcher on your laptop, it's not Outlook.
But how do you run Outlook through it then?
You would have to have that as separately just for your parish council.
But where that goes wrong is that I obviously use webmail, and it wouldn't work on webmail either.
Okay, well, I'll look into that. I'll go and have a look. I'll log in online and see if I can see it.
That was good when you just restart your computer.
Yeah, no, I did.
Oh, right.
Because Alison said about how she got it, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'll try that."
But it didn't work.
It didn't work on webmail. The email's not working. Okay.
So I can read,
Quite a few of you.
but I can't send.
Okay.
Sometimes I can't read or send, but
Sounds like an outgoing mail server problem.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I could
What do you
resend all the details, but
yeah, I can
the
resend it
accounts
again.
to everybody, maybe.
Anyway,
Okay.
that's it.
Anyway, then the new payments. The flash drive is because I had to buy a flash drive because the panic is nothing was saving up, and that's saving. That's because your subscription had run out. Didn't realise. Cleaning products for the hall and refreshments for the annual parish meeting. Parish council, as well within its right to buy. Maybe that the mowing that flats were previously doing has now been awarded to Wilton, so that's the last year.
And also square, yes.
Okay. Your chalk training, subscription and your internal audit fee. Your internal audit fee done.
No, she's not mad with us. So our subscriptions for 24-25.
So this is a requirement as well. Agree to these. You just say yes or no whether you want to pay them. There's only chalk that I actually know the amount for. They're the only ones who bill, the other bill through the year.
Yes, I think we should look at all of them.
Glenn, what did we get for Cheshire Wildlife? Maybe subscribe to them.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Was that part of the
Yeah.
neighbourhood plan?
Yeah.
No, we went through it last year, and I just can't remember now off the top of my head. Look.
The ones on there were the ones we agreed last year.
Yeah, they are.
And I queried some of them last year, and
Yes, don't tell whether we'd be suspended Cheshire Wildlife.
What do we get for it?
That's my question.
I mean, I haven't seen anything for it this year.
Maybe we can do some inquiries.
If you cancelled it, they'd probably soon come back to you with what they're prepared to do.
I can distribute what they do. So I will take that out of an agreed subscription. And that can just be a further payment if you decide to. Yeah, I really don't know.
I thought that's agreed. And to resolve delegate the following budgets 2024-25.
Just my stationery one.
My only thought was that we spent a lot more than that in council training last year. I know that was the first year the box was coming in, but there's still a planning training to do, which was something like.
I can send you a thing out telling you when they're all.
But that's all you've got in the budget at the moment. That's all you agreed in the budget, council training.
What was that? Is that just? So in this current year, we spent more than that. We had the basic budget of 100 and then we agreed an increase.
Yeah.
So do we just do the same again this year and then agree an increase if we need to, rather than
Really
increase the
need to.
pot?
Yeah.
But can agree specific training if needed to come in,
Yeah.
that gives us a budget for any ones that can just be done. And if there's something specific that comes up related to anything, then it's, I mean, it's also the costs within the parks, we need to say yes, but I think it's really not that benefit.
But we went through a budgeting process and we said we'd spend.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah, we can always come back and change it. That's in our gift. Okay. What happened with those people that have been delegated to? Okay. So the following expenditure, which is paid by direct debit or standing order for the financial year 2024-25.
What is the ash waste on what that cost us, please?
Last one cost £3, I think. I don't know if that's everything.
Remember last year we renegotiated them down.
I couldn't remember what it is. So
Yeah,
it's negligible now, isn't it?
yeah.
It's more than £3 now.
It's not-
Do they arrive on request?
We can review the costs and
I think
They
that's
assume a
just
certain-
waste fee. Negotiating it.
50, I think it's £15.
Yeah,
The plan that we have, if we fill the thing up, we do it after I think the coronation picnic, they'll charge us extra for our own.
Okay.
But in the, I think we're paying a lot more, maybe £45 a month. So,
Okay.
but we can actually ask them what our weights are.
Yeah.
And then make a decision whether we need to go.
I'm not aware it's been empty for a long time, and I certainly moved. There were some big bags of rubbish next to it, which visitors had put there, which was nice of them, because obviously it was too big to put in the regular bins. So I just moved them next to the bins because the council guys are happy to take those anyway.
okay.
So,
Was it not used? The ash waste at very specific times of the year.
Yeah, it's not.
So it's not
during
over
winter.
the winter, it's just the summer, so
They will collect, but we have to phone them.
yeah, we have to contact them outside of the regular collection point.
So probably any big event, so largely by the lake type thing, that's probably where we need to be careful that we don't.
Yeah. This is just that, you pay things by direct debit and going out the bank automatically. You're not always paying them in advance, having to pay your utility this way.
If we go over, they'll just take them.
Yeah.
Okay. 10.6 to approve, receive and approve the internal audit report for 23-24. Everyone should have had a copy of that in advance.
You got clean bill of health?
Was that the one that I was?
No issues arising, this is the internal audit, no issues arising.
I just put that to my
Yeah,
comment. So, to 4, there's no. Some of them just say implemented, but this one doesn't say implemented,
Okay,
even
so
though it is implemented.
so that's this year's internal audit, just that. These are previous internal audits that they leave on. So the risk assessment with the risk of supplier fraud, they put on that hasn't been done yet because I did tell them that Alison and I have just started it. So that will stay on. This is previous year, that's 22-23.
Yeah.
Which is implemented, so
But
it's
this is
done.
implemented as well, but it's not marked as implemented.
There's no follow-up on it.
But we did do it.
Yeah, you have done it, yeah.
Okay.
He knows about that, that's all checked. So there's no the follow-up column is for the internal audit, so it's empty, it's all good.
Okay.
So you need to say that you've received it and approve it to say that you've seen it and you agree with what the internal audit said.
Want to vote or?
No.
Looks fine.
Now, if I hold your peace.
There's nothing really to disagree with, is there?
No, I think
There's nothing on there, so
outstanding to put through on the first attempt without any questions.
yeah.
But thank you to the clerk for making life easy. Okay, consider and approve the annual governance statement 23-24.
Okay, so I did send it round to everybody and I would hold on to your hats because I actually need to read this out, or Ewan needs to read it out, and you need to agree to it.
You be my head.
Okay, you ready? Yeah. We have put in place arrangements for effective financial management during the year and for the preparation of the accounting statements, which means you've done your accounting statements in accordance with the accounts, the audit regulations. Yes? Anybody think you haven't? Okay. We have maintained an adequate system of internal control, including measures designed to prevent and detect fraud and corruption and review its effectiveness.
Yeah.
I'll keep going unless anyone shouts no.
Yeah.
We took all reasonable steps to assure ourselves that there are no matters of actual or potential non-compliance with laws, regulations and proper practices that could have a significant financial effect on the ability of this authority to conduct its business or manage its finances. We provided proper opportunity during the year for the exercise of the electors' rights in accordance with the requirements of the accounts and audit regulations. We did. We carried out an assessment of the risks facing this authority and took appropriate steps to manage these risks, including the introduction of internal controls and/or external insurance cover where required. We maintained throughout the year an adequate and effective system of internal audit of the accounting records and control systems. We took appropriate action on all matters raised in reports from internal and external audit. We considered whether any litigation liabilities or committees, events or transactions occurring either during or after the year end have a financial impact on this authority, and where appropriate, I would include them in the accounting statements.
Yep. And
you don't have any trust funds. If you're all happy with that, you will sign that on your behalf, and then that goes out to the external.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just under that one as well, you have to allow the public to look at your annual accounts. And I am going to suggest that those dates are Monday the 3rd of June to Friday the 12th of July. I need to minute them. No one's got any problems. But, yeah. Okay.
So 10.9, receive and approve asset register that takes it 31st of March 2024.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone?
Just a couple of things on that.
Of course.
Okay.
Sorry. So it's just, so it says, if the uninstalled speed signs, I thought they'd been sold by the previous council.
No, they're trying to get them working.
Oh, okay, fine, sorry, okay. Club Drive Playground says there's a bench. There's 2 benches and there's 2 picnic benches.
So it's a really difficult one because
Some of it falls in the playground equipment, or because there's also a bin. I don't know which.
does it say a bench or does it say the bench value is £150?
Yeah.
So I think well, there might be. I think this is a bench that was put in, and there's all the equipment then, all the building. It's those picnic benches are, and I think the bin belongs to Cheshire East.
I thought it was ours and they emptied it.
They do empty it. So I can't, you can't revalue your assets. You have to have their assets at the price at which they were purchased. You can't, you're not allowed to, they have a current value in, but I don't know why, because you're not allowed to do that. And then when you dispose of it, you dispose of that value. So I think I've taken that from there, from your previous, because you've not bought any benches this year.
We refurbished them beautifully.
I put the price of refurbishment on the benches, the ones at the top. I didn't talk to the auditor about that, whether he wanted the price changing. He should spend money on it, and he did.
Okay.
The playground. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the new bench
Yeah.
and the one that was done across the road.
So that's the bus stop benches, but I'm talking about the playground benches.
I know it just said bench 150, but you haven't purchased any this year.
Right,
But I think that's the benches you come in,
They've upgraded.
and the other ones are the play equipment. That's big benches. That's how I interpreted it last year, but
Okay.
I mean, if maybe if we want to look at it, visit it this year, and if there are any changes, it's just that I need to be really certain if I make any changes to your asset register that I can explain to the internal auditor why we're making changes, especially if you haven't got an invoice to back it up, and if it is because someone's not counted the right number of benches.
when it's put on, that's the
That's it.
the person that knows the most about it.
Yeah.
And if they don't like the in
It's not like a business. You're not allowed to depreciate. And to change
You know, we had
that.
this discussion last year, which
Yeah, I don't know.
Fine.
okay. We have with the asset register.
Just a question about the fence.
Hmm.
On the asset register is the fence, which is still with the contractor, which I believe agreement was they're going to sell it, it gives the money back.
They were going to sell the remaining parts and
They
then
sold it.
return the money to council.
Right.
They've sold
They sold it. They sold it virtually straight away. I spoke to Richard Platt the other day and Platt's bought it straight away.
So I think we should contact the contractor and see if they have sold it.
I have contacted them. Well, yeah. About 2 weeks ago, last week. I've had no reply so far. They're only on Facebook from what I can go to
Put some pressure on them.
But definitely not happening.
I'm
Nothing.
not sure things and run to about them. What happened the sequence of events.
But yeah, I mean, I do remember Jack saying in the meeting, the last council, that they thought they had someone who was interested in buying the posts. And I believe that actually being true. I'm not sure about the rest of it.
Well, he said that when he was, what, I think it was the last time he was clerk, that it was the council had to approach the contractor to get money.
which I have. I will chase them down.
What you like.
Okay. I've only done it within the last 2 weeks, because I've got all kind of the details within the last 2 weeks. Okay, so. Let's see. Suitable arrangements for insurance are in place. They are.
Excellent.
Your insurance is through calendars and you're on a 3-year fixed term. Fixed for it.
Happy with that. Right, moving on. Obviously, this one will be quick because we already discussed it. So to continue with general power of competence. Everyone happy? Continue the same way.
Okay.
Cool. That's done. All right. So that's the draft bit done. Committees and working groups. So agree that the following committees be in place for 2024-25. The first of all is the staffing committee, which will have 3 members, with the chairman, vice chairman as ex officio members, and will meet when required to deal with staffing issues and to agree terms of reference.
Can we do committee members?
Yes.
Can we do them, get them all
Yep.
bottomed out? So who's on this, and then that's it for the rest of the year.
So currently the staffing committee was myself, Nick and Lauren. Which were anyone else wants to
Staffing?
join that, or doesn't want those to be continue. We've obviously met once to have a club. That's impending meeting.
Okay.
Are we happy with those 3? If anyone else wants to join, or let's put ourselves forward. Okay. We have to stand.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll continue with that.
Yeah.
Set as they are. Planning committee. So I think it was Pete, me and Nick. With Pete, thankfully taking the lead on those spend ones.
that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Finance committee.
Sorry, on the agenda it says to agree terms of reference, but we haven't got terms of reference yet for it.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't met,
Yeah.
but I have included that it's got powers to submit objections and comments on behalf of the council. So generally, if it falls within meetings and it's in an emergency or it's still going, committees still have to give 3 days notice, still have to put an agenda out. It means 3 you can get together, make a discussion and actually for presumably you're going to go to the and object an objection on behalf of the council.
Those in the past, you managed to get an extension.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
covered.
I mean, you can do it either way, but it just covers you. I mean, hopefully you won't have to meet,
Yeah.
but it's there if you need it.
So sorry, the process then for agreeing those terms of reference, do we have to meet
Yes.
to agree them?
Yeah.
So they're not agreed by the council, they're
But usually they're agreed, they're usually done at the first meeting and then brought to the council for agreement.
okay.
Ratification.
I'm just wondering whether we should meet at the end of
The next meeting and
council.
do it, that's a good
and
idea.
again, arrange agreement of terms of reference and then we're done.
Yeah, just people stay on. Then it's simple, yeah.
is that just the family people?
You might as well do that.
Yeah. Look,
Oh, I was just going to say, why don't we meet half an hour before in the pavilion or something?
You won't need half an hour in terms of reference. If you've had them distributed beforehand and you're happy with them, okay, that's one thing about
Okay.
that. I'll make sure I get them. I've got them done actually.
So that's that. I think finance committee meeting. We never met.
You didn't meet.
I got feeling I was on it. I can't remember who else was. Peter.
Who would like to be on the finance committee?
So the finance committee, although we've never met, I think it was you, me, and Pete.
Probably why I don't remember being on it.
I think at one point when we thought we might be, it's just really didn't want to continue on that.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you want to still be on the finance committee? Bearing in mind that we've never met.
We need one, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris,
You're already ex officio members, you two.
That's
Yes.
So you
right,
can
yeah.
stand in if somebody
Yeah.
doesn't meet. So why don't you?
Yeah, just leave it at that.
I mean, you're more than welcome to come to the meeting, but why don't you have other members? And then if for any reason they can't come, you can
Makes
drop
sense,
in
yeah.
or you can come whenever you want.
I've got a feeling you weren't at the meeting last year.
No.
When we
No.
were discussing who was in which committee, so you sort of didn't end up in.
No, I sent a note to you and saying which ones I'd like to be involved in.
Would you like to be on the finance committee?
Particularly.
I can't remember what was on the list. Which one did you want to be involved in?
Well, basically neighbourhood plan, like, the assets are on the side
Okay.
and, there you go.
Is it, I can have a meeting on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the chair and vice chair who are ex officio to make it up to 3.
Yeah.
We have to have 3.
Simon, come in.
Okay. Pete, Simon, anybody else?
So it's still to meet to
Can't be in the red line.
create a lead,
I know.
chairman or whatever we call it, yeah.
So I'm going to suggest that you meet once a quarter to go over your budget. So it will be a case of meeting on the same day as the full council meeting, probably in the pavilion, and to have a short meeting. So like have a half an hour meeting where, unless there's something terribly wrong, but that would be coming to full council anyway, just to check up on the finances.
Okay.
And then bring it back to council.
so are you on it? I thought you'd just come
That's
up
fine.
with.
No, it's,
Ex officio.
yeah,
So
All right,
you
yeah.
can go to the meeting.
Doesn't get to it.
Are you going to
2?
be on at the event, then it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
And then Chris can stand in if anybody can't. Yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds okay? Yeah.
so pavilion.
Okay, so the community and assets group that we put together didn't particularly work very well. So I'm going to be to solve that one with immediate effect. Okay. Neighbourhood plan, that has been led last year by Alison. Alison would like to.
I'm on
Simon,
that as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're on that permit.
I did actually make it to one meeting, so
Okay.
I know you saw that one.
Are there two, is it just two on that or is there 3?
2 and residents.
For the residents, yeah.
Or it can be more than 30 on you.
Well, So the neighbourhood plans working group should be residents, a large amount of residents.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
It's not really meant to be us. They're what to do,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they want. Okay, so lake working group,
Now, I've only got, currently there's 2 members, and I think you should have 3 members on it.
We've got Lorraine, Chris remains,
Okay,
and Nick who's going to join.
I was happy to join, but I
Well,
don't, it's
I'm
fine, it's
happy
interested.
to join in my play. Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah,
stuck
we
with a
could-
step back. So, okay,
I'll
so
do that there, because that's 3
Right.
members.
Jane, Nick,
Simon was in.
Simon,
Yeah.
so there's 4 of you, good, that's good.
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah.
Simon.
But I think the lake's one of the big issues. isn't it?
Yeah.
Chris, you're already on anyway,
Yes.
so technically we do need 3, if we can get 3 volunteers, and we've got 3 volunteers.
Yeah, that's fine.
yes.
Let's take them.
Oh, okay.
No, but you need another one.
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
No, we've got 3,
It's a working group, you've got 4 members, that's
Okay.
Fine.
all right, so that one done.
fine. So,
You're in.
you've been on the Lakes group.
No, but he's the chairman, so you can join
I
then.
could-
Oh, I see, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Chairman is on every single one.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
vice chair, that's what we've got now.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
And then the British Hall Pavilion working group.
I'm sorry, it's just to jump back. We don't have terms of reference yet for a lake.
No, we don't.
Do we?
No, but that's the step 1.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we get all those prepared, and then we just need to get them through, bring them to council. Jobs are good. So on the Village Hall group, we have Alison, Peter, Chris, Jane, and Lorraine.
It's now the village hall.
And pavilion.
Well, it did,
Do you want to get rid of the pavilion? It was
Yeah.
initially the Village Hall and Pavilion.
well, if we take the pavilion out for the time being.
Yeah, would you prefer to do that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think if it's worth keeping pavilion in, but the
Well,
focus.
I mean, this year it's not gonna happen, is it?
No, I know, but if something, what I'm saying is the focus this year is the village hall.
Okay,
But
but
I
next
think,
year. it'll
but I
be
think if we
pavilion.
keep pavilion in it, because if there's something that needs doing,
Yeah,
then it
We'll
needs.
keep an eye on the assets.
So it's sort of, it's just keeping an overview, but
Yeah.
not really, the focus is going to be the village
No,
hall.
I agree.
Okay.
So what are we calling it, Alison?
Can I just check,
Okay.
why do you want the word refurbishment in? I mean, you can, but is there anything wrong with just being the working group that deals with the Village Hall and Pavilion?
no, it's okay.
It was just that was what the original.
And
idea
in
was.
terms of reference, you
Yeah.
can do refurbishment
Yeah.
or repair.
So we're going back to,
Village Hall and Pavilion working group,
It
okay,
covers everything, doesn't it?
yeah,
because we might not be refurbishing straight away.
So who's in the group now?
So
Everybody
assuming
out.
that
People on the,
Alison, Peter, Chris, Jane, and Lorraine wish to continue.
yeah.
Obviously, Chris are already on, next year as well, so
That's also one that I'd like to do.
so I'm just going to say now, actually, I will say it now. A committee has to give notice. So a committee has to give 3 days notice, it has to publish an agenda and it has to publish minutes. So if you're on a committee and you want to have a meeting, that's what you have to do. A working group does not. If you want to do it as good practice, fine. You do not. And a working group, you can invite residents and members of the public and interested people to come. You have absolutely no powers as a working group. You can put proposals forward to the council. So you're doing the work, and then instead of discussing it all in council, you're doing the body of the work, and you bring in your proposals to council.
That's fair enough.
You can't spend anything, can't ask anyone to do any work, can't make any decisions.
What about things like this bit of work needs done, going and getting quotes and then bringing that back to council? Is that stepping on your toes?
It's actually the wrong way round to do it, yeah. If you identify a piece of work needs doing,
Yeah.
we should bring it to the council and say, this is the work that needs doing. If you're of the opinion that it needs quotes, then you should be sending that information to me. I should be getting quotes on your behalf. So if you want to come to council with this needs doing, and there are the quotes, but they should have all come through me. Yes.
So the working group propose something, get you to do the financial bit,
Yeah.
and then we bring all of that to
Yeah.
council for decision.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just ask, one thing. So we're talking about the Lakes Working Group, but we don't have a working group covering the land at the end of Clover Drive, or the playground on Clover Drive, or the pathway through the route to school, whatever we're calling that, Buttercup Way. Could the Lakes Working Group be an outdoor spaces working group?
Yeah.
Or is that just too big a
Well, that's what the Community and Assets Committee. was
Yeah, that's what
originally
the
for.
assets were on originally.
Yeah, that didn't work. I would, if you remember when you had the committee, the people who were on it didn't agree what it was for. If you can start another committee if you want, but.
Do we
it
have
did
to
not
have?
work.
There's a lot of committees.
Do we have to have a working group for that? Can't we just fetch anything to?
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary to have a working group
You
for
can
absolutely everything.
Lakes and grounds, if you feel that, or
Yeah.
outdoor spaces, if you feel that.
I'm personally, I'm sort of hovering between the two. The fact it's useful to have something constructive in place. But the thing is, they don't need a great deal of attention because
Yeah.
it's grass cutting, check the trees. You know, it's that type of thing. So I think they can be things
I think we're all
that
going around
can
checking
be
things
picked
anyway.
up on ad hoc.
Mm.
It sort of takes them out of the focus of the group, if you said to me.
Yeah,
But I can see that we do need some way of checking on it.
I think Peter's walking round most days.
Yeah.
Nick's walking round most days. Chris is walking round most days. I'm walking round most days. You've got the playground covered. You know, we're down at the lake all the time. Most people have got different areas.
Well, the playground's checked every week.
Of course.
So I think, yeah, there's not much issue with those things, so let's just bring it to council.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
That's all your councils
okay,
and working groups agreed for the next year.
excellent. But can you
What
all,
about the playground? Those,
You don't have a working group. You have Jane and I working on the playground on your behalf.
or should we have one? I think we should.
It's a big financial project going forward in the next year or two.
The playground.
but
Yeah.
that would have to come to council anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I still think we should have a working group there. And, or if not, I'd like to be involved in it, whatever.
Well, it'll come to council because it's such a big,
Yeah, but I'd like to be involved in that.
But there's a lot of work around getting the ideas together and getting the design together, which could just be the two of you.
Yeah.
And Simon, yeah.
But if other people want to be involved, you know, if residents want to be involved, how's that happening? What's the
Well,
procedure?
we've already at the community meeting,
The parish.
Yeah,
parish
annual-
meeting, the annual, we actually asked residents to send anything forward that they would like to see at the playground, and we had people come forward with different ideas at that meeting.
Okay.
And people sent me things also, so me and Amanda have already spoken about the things that people really quite like the look of the most, and
I do need to pull everything together for you. I am aware of that. There's a lot going on. And Ewan's been speaking to people, and there's somebody else who put in a lottery bid for a climbing wall, and somebody wants, so there's a lot for me to pull together to
Yeah.
send out to the council, so you can bear with me and I'll do that this month.
and we are,
And then maybe-
we are obviously trying
Yeah.
to still raise funds.
And then maybe
Well-
Jane, Simon, take it forward after that.
Would it be worth? Oh, that's for another time. But I'll talk about that separately. It's about the playground stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
put it on the next agenda if you want.
Well, no, I mean, there's a separate discussion between us. Rather than extending the council meeting.
all right, so about that one. So reports from committees and working groups, so first up as always, Alison.
Okay. Yes, we have been meeting, we've got quite a lot of work done. We've now done final tweaks and organisations and changes to stakeholders, landowners and various things. And we're now at the stage where we're ready to send letters out to them all. And to all the relevant people, advising them about what the neighbourhood plan is. Those letters are going to go out to the majority of them, most of them. But in order to do that, we're looking at postage costs as to whether or not the council will fund £119 for second-class stamps for it.
I think you can just walk around with them. And deliver.
Volunteering?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think we can because
Pickmere Press is hand delivered, so why can't it be hand delivered?
It's rather official letter.
Yeah, I think it,
And I think it would be better posted.
I think
No, they're not
also
all in the
it's-
village.
No,
Where are they going to? Landowner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so landowners don't necessarily
Next door
live
in the village.
on their land.
Sure, yeah, yeah, okay.
I mean, in general terms, I think we can handle them, and I don't think next week's going to start stamp on them, pick up to send it all the way to that sort of thing, all the way back. I think maybe there's an amount of money that can go to the neighbourhood plan for things such as this. Then
We-
try and save as much as you can.
All right, we were looking for funding, as I say, then for postage, but also the major item of funding is for the website. Whereas I brought it to the council last time that we were looking at having our own website to publicise what is happening with the neighbourhood plan, when the meetings are, where we're up to, and all the various stages of that, to take a lot of the workload off Amanda. We've since gone away and I have come back to council again with the proposal that we go with Wix.com at a cost of £157.8p a year. I'm looking to council for funding of that.
Why does it have to be a website? Why can we have a Facebook page which is free?
Because what we want to do with the website is to put on all the documents. We can then use those documents as our evidence base when we go to referendum. A Facebook page would not have the same impact, and it would be harder to maintain and keep track of, and more difficult, I think, to put towards the referendum.
the website is basically going to be very much an informative website. This is what's happened, these are the last minutes, this is the latest maps, and it's a way of putting together a whole package that at the end of it is usable as part of the neighbourhood plan, whereas a Facebook page starts to get scrappy, starts to move off in different directions. And I think what we don't want is this sort of discourse going on, that this is the information that's coming from the neighbourhood plan group. This is what's being seen. And if you want to look at it, you can click on there and you can find that piece of information, because you'll have a little menu at the top which you can just click on and drop down to that relevant one. So if it was 4 months ago, rather than scrolling through Facebook, which is what you have to do, you can just click on that link, it'll take you down and you refer to that piece. It also means we can put on different maps, we can put on different media, which is all relevant, and it takes it, whereas you haven't got that facility on Facebook. Facebook is a media, is not that type of
If you look
platform.
at Simon, if you went on to Hertford Parish Councils or Hertford, not Hertford Parish Council, if you go on to Hertford Life's page, Facebook page, they have got individual things in every single top of every single thing that you can click on to absolutely everything. And
Well, we have on ours as well, but I'm afraid it was trying to keep it up to date.
it's no different. It's no different than putting in.
No, website
surely-
is completely different thing to a
Yeah.
Facebook page.
We wouldn't want to be, or I certainly
But you
wouldn't
certainly
be
have that
wanting to get
ability.
some of the unwelcome comments that you get on Facebook.
Not the same way you
Well, you don't need to get those unwelcome comments, because you can have no comment.
It's very usual. It's very usual for a neighbourhood plan to have its own website. It's not unusual at all.
Can I just ask, you know the maps that you're planning on uploading, do you have to pay a licence?
No,
Don't you?
No.
I just know that when I used maps.
No.
Depends on
No.
depends on which maps you use, which mapping programs. I mean, Ordnance Survey, you don't need a license as long as you just stick to that size.
Really?
There's
Well,
all-
you did used to, we used to pay a big license.
It-
on it.
There are all sorts of different ways around it, but a lot of the programme that we're using doesn't need.
All right, no, I do.
No, you're right to ask the question. Yeah.
It was an expensive
Yeah.
feature for us.
It would be used as well for various reports, such as the wildlife. And those sorts of things.
Could, just wondering about, I mean, I don't see a problem with having a website. I don't know very much about websites. I keep meaning to somehow look at it.
No, I don't.
You pay to have a domain,
Yeah.
you pay for someone to host it.
Mm.
Oh, you
And
hosted
then-
it yourself.
Yeah, it's just that.
The
Yeah, we would have
Wix
to-
is a do-it-yourself
Yeah, it's a do-it-yourself thing.
thing.
That's what I mean, no, but you're paying them
Yeah,
to,
host it.
for the domain and to host it.
Yeah,
And then we-
and we would get an email address as well, unique to,
That we have to set that up, otherwise you have to pay for it.
that would all come in £157 a year.
And then you'd be able to put announcements on there, updates on there.
Yeah.
Hold documents on there that people can look at and download and whatever.
Mm.
Okay.
Generally,
If
that's-
people wouldn't be able to contact you,
But you can have a contact
Yeah.
page.
but if you want to avoid that, because as you're saying, you avoid, one of the reasons to avoid Facebook was to avoid potentially negative comments. I just wonder whether,
Contact page, what you do is you put Clark's name and Clark. and-
But
Yeah.
you
All
you
this
could
as well.
have your own contact.
Yeah,
Just
it would
say
be
that.
our own contact page that we
And
took,
people wouldn't be able to see that.
that we got our own email address.
I just
It
wonder
would
whether,
also have a link, a direct link to the Pickmere Parish Council.
Yeah. And one from them.
Yeah. The two would
All of
link
these.
all together.
Can we, sorry, Simon, can we just have?
Sorry, I'm just answering Nick's question.
Okay, but we're going to have one person talking at the same time, as per our new standing orders.
Basically, what I'm showing Nick then, just so you know, is a website that I look after. I'm showing him the different pages that you've got on there, the links. The fact that when you log on as the person who's controlling it, you can set up all sorts of things on there. You know, a complete dashboard and stuff. Very simple, very easy to
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very effective.
so what the thing I was wondering was whether you could actually also have a Facebook group to allow,
Yeah.
and have the two things linked together, so that people can give you comments. You don't have to read them.
That would be up to the neighbourhood plan working.
Yeah.
group.
I
could do.
Yes,
take
so,
that
you know, just
I
a
would take that
suggestion
back
rather
to the
than.
group to discuss.
I just think all of these things, I think we as a council as well, the more we engage with
Yeah.
local residents, the more
Well, that's what we're
involved
trying
in
to do.
things. Actually, hopefully the happier they are rather than.
That's
But
what we're
the
trying to do
neighbourhood
with
plan
the
is-
neighbourhood plan. Because we have,
I'm saying, I don't know how you describe it, it's not us, we're not,
Yes, yeah, it's already, yes, the
something that the resident,
Facilitated by the
Yeah.
parish council.
yes.
so. So I think, I mean, does anyone else have any other few comments they want to sort of heard about whether we should and shouldn't have a website, so I'm going to have to go to a vote. Does anyone have any other personal points they want to make?
No, I mean, listening back, listening to Nick, and I sort of, I'm getting a bit fed up of hearing negative comments about the council. And I just think the more we do try and interact, I think it's good for us
well, that's what I've been trying to say.
to,
All right.
I mean, that's, you
I
know,
don't want to disappoint you, you're going to get negative comments about the council.
I know.
JC himself was on the chairman of this council, he'd get the same negative.
I know, but I just, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just a wuss.
I mean, I suppose my other question is how long this process is going to go on, because the neighbourhood plan has been going on.
The sooner we can work, the sooner we can get these letters out, then we can start doing all the surveys that we want to do and to move things forward as well. That was why I didn't particularly want to wait for another meeting to ask for the postage to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to take that as a vote as well.
Honestly, what I can't understand is that there was on the neighbourhood plan when it was started out by the previous council or the previous working group, that there seemed to be funding coming forward all the time and they were getting money. What's happened to all of that?
there was a grant of £10,000 allowed. Of that, over £6,000 was spent. That now leaves us with the possibility of getting £4,000.
No, I can't.
The grants are not open yet until July, and it all depends what happens with this levelling up programme as to whether or not the grants are even going to be allowed. At the same time, the original parish council put money aside specifically for items for the neighbourhood plan. That has not been included in our budget. We've not budgeted for that. This council hasn't. So that's why we're coming sort of saying, these for me.
So but there is the possibility of a
There is
grant
the
of
possibility.
£4,000 in
Yeah.
July.
Yeah.
Well, so you think we should wait for that?
No,
No,
because we want to get out and survey this land and to walk some of the wildlife corridors and check what is there. We wanted to do it in spring. We're now getting towards summer. If we wait until July till we get a grant and then start to do this work, you're then getting into the winter where we can't then survey the land. We can't go through the wildlife corridors because weather's against us, and then you put it back again till we start again next spring. So it's all interdependent on it, various items.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have to send the grant back. If you haven't
Used.
used it, the original 10 grant, the council had to return 3,000.
Yeah, I don't think they got 10,000.
No.
no, I think we had 2 grants which totaled up to the 10,000,
Yeah.
but we had to send the first one.
You have 12 months.
one back.
I don't think you've had the full 10,000.
No, we haven't. That's what I'm saying. There's still that, which is
So
allowed.
anything unspent, so you apply in July, and then if you've not spent it by March, you have to send it back.
Mhm.
So,
It strikes me that £4,000, if that's all that is remains for them, is not actually very much money. If you're going to have to produce
No, it's,
posters, leaflets,
it isn't.
that, you know, so I lived in High Lee when they were going through their neighbourhood plan process. I'd moved here by the time they got through it, but there was an awful lot of documentation.
But with the £6,000, what have they all, what's already been done with it?
They did the survey.
Survey,
went out
having a
to
museum on it.
They did the banners, the posters, the
So you've got
social
to have
event
those
on it.
already.
Yeah, but now we have used them. That was what we used here at the parish meeting.
So some of those presumably no longer relevant. 'Cause
No,
we're a
well,
group of people making what might be a different plan. no?
No, the information that came back from the survey probably is no longer relevant. But you can't keep redoing it. When you're doing a neighbourhood plan, once you have got your evidence, your base information, that's what you base your plan on. So we are still working with that data and information. So the sooner we can get it done, the better.
What stopped it in the first place then? Why was there a stutter in the middle of it? It appears.
Election,
No, the election, yeah.
changing people.
So I don't.
There's only Simon that was on the previous neighbourhood plan. It's on the team.
Excuse me, I don't understand why an election would.
Because the people who were running it.
Oh, you mean the election of the council?
Yeah,
Right.
change faces, so we've had to pick up from where sort of stuff.
The next, they've had plans in the council.
Sorry,
They've had plans, have nothing to do with the council.
There were 4
no,
councillors.
but the councillors are on it, so it's just had to sort of restart it.
But they could have stayed on.
They could have done, yeah, but they haven't, so we've had to restart it.
So they've wasted 6 hours, sorry, Chair. They've wasted
No,
6
not
hours.
wasted it, because the money
What?
that's been spent has set us up to, has got the initial bits out of the way, which we don't have to do now.
That information's still there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is the baseline information that we're creating.
So what is this? But at the same time, we're saying some of it we can't use because it's old hat and therefore not
No,
relevant.
it is old hat, but that's what we are using. 2 years out.
Sorry, I'm not-
Once you had said that you have been given a designated area for your parish's neighbourhood plan, that designated area is then locked. It's agreed, it's finalised. We've got all the official letters and maps to say that. Then the first stage of doing your plan is to go out and speak to your residents and to find out who your residents are, what they do, where they are, how many cars have they got, how many children have they got. And that was the big survey that they did, the original council
Right.
did. That was done in 21, was it?
Yeah.
So by the fact that the council, as all councils, get re-elected, we lose all that.
No. No, we're still using that word. We are still using that.
Using
But at the same time, you're saying Conorsworth is irrelevant.
No, it's not
It's
irrelevant.
not irrelevant,
old.
it's old.
It's old, people are still working with it.
The longer it takes you to do it, the information you gathered at the beginning,
No, I get that.
Yeah,
because people come, people go.
But we're talking from a year ago now, so there's been the gap of a year, other than what you've done in the meantime, of course. Okay, I say I don't get it. I do get it, obviously, but the fact of the wasted money is what's getting to me.
But it's not.
It's not.
Let me finish. And it's okay. I accept it's too late now. It's gone. Can't reclaim it. Or did I see somewhere there was some? We got paid some money back from it that wasn't used.
No, that's gone back.
No, that's gone
But
back.
we paid that back.
It's not wasted money, it's money you didn't use, so you send it back.
Then you have to reapply. If you can afford them, you
Well,
have
they
to
chose
spend
not
the
to
money, then
They
you
chose not to have a
apply.
website.
Yeah.
Now we've got to pick up the tab.
No, not at all, no, no.
Chief contact.
No,
They,
this is something that has been progressed. The website is something that we've put as a way of progressing the neighbourhood plan to the next stage. What we've got is we've got the basis of the neighbourhood plan from the previous council, where the money that was used has got things like the Cheshire Wildlife survey. It's got the advice that was given to us by Lucy, who is the expert, who now has moved on anyway. So a lot of the money was paid to her. We've got the banners. So with everything, all the money that was spent has been used, and those resources are still being used and still relevant. The trouble is, the thing like the Cheshire Wildlife one is now a year and a half old. So whilst we can say we've got that, and that's a basis upon which we can build and start looking at specific areas on that, it is still old. It's like saying the people in Pickmere, that you surveyed them 2 years ago. Well, they're people who move in and move out.
Yes, so I get that.
But Pickmere is still relevant, and that information we've got is still relevant, and the money was well spent. It's just we're now moving to the next stage, and we're trying to progress it. So the website stuff, we're at the point where we can now send out to the stakeholders. So that's what the letters are about. The website is a way of getting it out there. I think the Facebook idea of linking that into the website is a great idea, because that's another way of communicating.
So assuage
So
my
we've not wasted money. We're just moving it on, and we now need
so
to
to
move on.
assuage my concern about us spending money that perhaps we don't need to. Are we saying therefore that the £159 or whatever it is that the council now pays to the website, that could come back to us with whatever you get?
No.
No, unfortunately, when you put the grant in, you have to put it in for future spend. So, but the grant doesn't open until July. So groundwork run the grants for neighbourhood plans, but all over the country. And it opens in July. It's quite a quick and easy form to fill in. You tell them what you want, but you have to be very specific. You have to say, we need consultants at this much, we need this at this.
another of the reasons for us sending these letters out is we could very well go back to Cheshire Wildlife Trust and say, right, we would like you to redo this and to do, if it's a tabletop exercise that they did, we could then say that we would like you to come and walk this land and check all this data. What we're proposing to do with the help of the landowners, which I've already been speaking to, is to go and do that ourselves, so that we don't have to have a consultant come out and do that. But there are other expenses that we will need. We will need a consultant to come out when we have got our plan more formulated.
Can I just say, we're sort of getting into the weeds now. I think there's obviously a difference of opinion. I think I'd like to take a vote. So the proposal is that we pay a cost of 157 per year for a website. I'd like to propose an amendment that we agree to pay that as a one-off 1 year, and then look at that in the future on the basis of grants applied for and or received, and whether the website actually is value for money for the council. So a lot of things, you know, I've bought in my life where I was very keen. I thought I was going to do wonders with it, and after about 6 months,
I think that's a fair idea. I think we should look at 2 years
Yeah.
because it's going to take us quite a bit of time to actually.
well,
get-
no, the grants are in July.
No, what I'm saying is I think for the website to be relevant, I think we're going to need a short amount, we're going to need some of this year to make sure we get it set up, get resorted, so that it's actually accurate. So I don't think that it would be properly
No.
the
Second amendment. Well, we'll take that as a second amendment. So
just for
we'll
2
start with the
years,
second amendment.
2 years.
Could I just ask one point about that? If you're going to start paying for a website now, that's going to run till next now. But the grant's still open until June or July, we just said July, and they have to be handed back in March, and you've got to plan for future. So we're opening a website right in that gap.
And you
Where are you going to fall into the gap?
Can you pay the first year and then when you put the grant in, apply for the website for the second year and then pay for it in that financial year? Do you know if that's, it may well be feasible. I'm sure they take the money off.
Yeah, they will take
If you said we want to extend this to 2 years.
Yeah, we could just do it for 12 months.
Yeah. And then get the grant, put it on the grant form.
Yeah, good idea.
So do we want to get to a second amendment?
I mean, that's.
So just for a year.
Right.
Okay,
So
yeah.
the proposal is that we give the neighbourhood or cover the cost of the website 15708 for 1 year, and we'll look at it again based on whether the grants were received and whether the website actually works and it does what we've been saying, or people have said it will do. So I have proposed that. Would someone like to?
I'll second.
Okay. So could I have a vote for that motion? Or amendment 1? Okay. Anybody voting against?
Yeah.
So that's good. Don't want
You have to vote against, yeah.
Okay. So, and then the second proposal was that we that they put plan a stationery budget, a couple of things like stamps, posters, things for as a budget, and
Sorry, I thought we'd already done that. Did we not find that when we set up the working group? No, all right, so.
No, it says on the budget,
Nothing.
there's nothing,
There's nothing, there is nothing against it.
but it just says £3,000 for project expenses.
so the proposal is stationery budget £200, things like stamps, stuff, and a request from the council that we can hand to the apprentice, hand to them. But I appreciate there are people who don't live and village who own the land.
I have to deliver a big bulk of them if they're in the village and then maybe toss the ones out of the village. I would do that myself.
I think what we discussed, if I'm right, Alan, is that we want these as the first ones to go out via the post. There's a bit of formality rather than just stuff through the letterbox. We want that formality of a letter arriving
Do we not
via
have
post.
do we not have a stamp, a Pickmere council stamp
No.
that you can put on the letter? On the letter?
Okay, so
I think for this time, sorry,
we sort of, I mean, I have to say, to me, it wouldn't make any difference whether you put the letter through with a stamp on it or not. In fact, I would be the opposite. I'd go, look at this, walk down the
Yeah, I
road,
would.
done it. But I think when people are outside, but I think what we're talking about, £200 stationery budget, is for the neighbourhood planning group to decide what they spend it on. And then that's it for the year.
Okay.
I think
So that's my proposal, is
that's
if anyone
fine.
will second it. You can second it. So if we have a vote on the proposal, given the £200 budget. Okay? Yep. Right. Appreciate we're now starting to run out of time because of that extended debate. So report from the village hall and pavilion refurbishment working group. Refurbishment. Who's going to do that for your team? Verbal update.
Oh, sorry.
What
Okay.
got to it last meeting?
Okay, well, we met on the 29th, myself, Lorraine, Chris, Peter and Alison, and
Chair.
the chairman, sorry, yeah. And we discussed having residents write in with ideas of what they'd like to see at the village hall. And I think we've had one response to that so far.
Yeah.
We also have been looking at the Pennington choices, paperwork that was, survey that was done, and we've started to obtain quotes with regards to work that we think that needs doing. So I did say to Alison and Peter, Chris, Lorraine, that I would send them to them, the quotations, but at the moment my emails aren't working, so I haven't been able to do that. I managed to send you all those numbers, but I haven't been able to send anybody else's things. My emails aren't working. There wasn't really very much more said in the meeting other than that.
So I suppose the other thing we should decide on is, and I apologise because I put, I was a bit premature in putting a post on the Pickmere Parish Facebook page, but basically about asking for suggestions from people. I did actually think we'd approved the suggestion box, but I haven't been able to check all the minutes. So I think as a group we need to just, I think everyone's seen the post that I put on. If everyone in the council could retrospectively agree or otherwise, but that's an okay approach that we ask people through Pickmere Press, through the different Facebook pages and
the Parish Council was.
and the post boxes, our suggestion box. If everyone's happy with that, then I apologise to council for my premature entry. I'm serious word with myself afterwards.
So the proposal is that you use the Pennington choice
As a baseline.
publication as a baseline. So the council happy to work
well,
to go
we-
forward with using that as a baseline. As that for their discussions, to start talking about the discussion. And if the group feel that is there anything on there that needs doing as a matter of urgency,
I
then
mean, I
come back to council with it.
I did meet with the builder this week, and that there is a huge problem to the bricks at the back wall, which
Right,
is something
Well,
that we need to have a look at.
yeah.
We'll get back in the weeds.
Yeah,
Yeah, can I just say, working groups don't have any powers.
yeah,
So if you're a working group and now that you've come to council and said, let's use Pennington choices as our baseline, that's great. Please don't go and get any quotes on your own. Please don't make decisions about the work that you feel need doing. You don't have any powers. Everything that you do is a proposal to come back to council. So if as part of your research you find out that it's not something needs doing, just bring it back and we'll do the quotes through the clerk and we'll do it that way.
Can I just bring up about the people from Acre, Cheshire Community Action Group, when I sent an email out to the team, now I know why I didn't get a reply from you.
yeah, sorry, Alison.
Because your email's not working.
Yeah, I didn't, all I did then was go back to them because Chris, you thought it was a good idea in the rain. All I did was go back and say, how long is your speech likely to be, your presentation? Would it be able to be done in council? And he's actually replied back to me today and said, his talk is 30 to 45 minutes, then question times on top of that.
That would be too long for council.
It would be too long. for
But
council.
it's something that we could probably
Yeah, I think working.
have in our working group.
Yes. So, if you would let me know when the
Yeah.
next working group meeting is, he's available in June.
Can I just ask one question, as we're on that? As we've now found that the roof isn't leaking, what we're doing, are we going to review the fact that we don't actually need to rebuild the roof because it's not leaking, it's just a pipe? What, because it seems a lot to spend £7,500 just based on a
But-
small leak from the,
The roof is repairing.
yeah, it does, but we based that idea on the fact that the roof was leaking badly.
No,
No, we didn't.
Well, that's what
The
I.
roof wasn't
Wasn't leaking at the time.
Well, no, the whole thing was based on the fact we had a leaking roof, and it turns out it's not a leaking roof.
I didn't base my decision
No.
on that.
That's the discussion I had, with I was involved in.
No.
Totally missed it. When did we say the roof wasn't leaking? And it was a pipe?
When we came to
That
Weeks ago.
leak on the ceiling
Yeah.
is a leak from the pipeline, which has now been
I
replaced.
totally missed that. I did miss the last meeting. But I totally missed that discussion.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the roof wasn't leaking before, and it doesn't mean the roof doesn't place.
But the leak that was going on in the
But this
roof
particular
before,
one where people poked holes in the ceiling.
Which is the one that precipitates the idea of,
No, it wasn't.
that
It was
came
before that. Simon.
I don't think it did.
But no, I mean, we could have a vote on whether we want to re-examine that decision, but I think.
because the coping stones, the ridge tiles, when we believed it wasn't a leak, the fellow that, I can't remember his name now, he did the ridge tiles, he re-cemented the ridge tiles. All day. When they went up in there is no, the roof is now completely dry. Because that was done, and the water that was coming in down that side there was repaired by yourself and Graham Todd.
Can I just say, the amount of people that have been up there, and every one of them are coming back with something different. I was here the other day when the guy came to the boiler and went up and he said, did you know you could see daylight up here through the roof?
Yes, you can. You've
Well,
always been
then
able
that's a
to.
good
But no,
reason.
given the slope of the tiles, the way they fall and the way they are put on, the weather shouldn't get in. It's like Yorkshire boarding on a barn.
But I don't see reason to re-examine that.
I just think that.
I don't think we're allowed to present them at the time. We haven't got time to do it tonight,
No.
so you want to bring proposals for the next.
It's booked to happen in about a week's time.
It has to be done. Everyone says.
I thought it was.
Well, depending on the weather.
Okay, so that item, we're moving on. Okay, planning matters. There aren't any. Fantastic. That's the best I've heard.
There are matters. Planning
Matters.
matters.
Oh,
I
Planning applications.
Not planning applications, but planning matters. I
Okay.
suppose we asked the clerk to write to Cheshire East Planning Department and ask them why it's taking so long to get Pickmere residents planning application process. Because we've got 4 from last year. And one of them dates back to the 20th of June.
You mean that hasn't got a decision on it?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Well, it's 12 months, isn't it? But it's the Pickmere residents, and we're supposed to be representing our residents at Pickmere.
Have your residents asked you to write planning?
I think we should be doing something to help our residents that have paid a lot of money.
Do you, have you
Do
looked at the
plan.
application to see why?
There's nothing on. I have spoken to one person whose application is in, and I said, have you heard anything? He said, absolutely nothing.
If you've been asked by a resident to chase up their planning application for them, that's fine. I will get in touch with planning if you want me to, but it would be very strange for me to get in touch about someone's application who hasn't asked me to ask the speed of it, when there might be mitigating circumstances and stuff that I don't know about.
Historically, Cheshire East have been very, very slow.
Everybody is in the
I
region.
know, so
Everybody
I
is.
know that, but getting towards 12 months is,
I mean, if a resident has said to you,
Yeah,
yes,
well,
that
yeah.
this is a problem and I need to move forward with it, then I mean, actually, I think Kate would probably be the best person to do it, but the parish council could do, but to do it off without being asked to do it
okay.
is a little unusual.
Would we ask Kate to put a members' inquiry in? Or would you ask her? Or how's that?
but surely the
The
person,
resident asked you to do that.
No.
No, I would really suggest you don't do it because I'm not sure what a private individual's planning application has to do with the parish council unless you've objected to it or unless it's something that you desperately want to see doing. If it's just you think that planning application is not going through quick enough, I'm not sure why you would do that, to be honest. Does that make sense? I'm not sure what's to be gained.
It's just the fact that people are paying a lot of money.
I doubt it's going to pick me.
I know I've looked on Cheshire East and there's thousands of.
Yeah.
but if it was my application, I'd bet a lot of money, I'd be chasing them myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably are, but as a parish council, perhaps it's just a case of supporting our residents.
Yeah,
If they are to
Ask you
support,
to do
I
that.
don't know, I'm just saying.
But if-
That's Peter.
we will always support our residents if they
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah. They've got concerns then, yes, obviously.
it's
Yeah.
just that we've got seven outstanding at the moment. Four of those are from last year.
I don't know specifically, I mean, yeah, okay,
Anything else on?
no,
No, okay,
yeah.
moving on. So, board staff and councillors, to receive a request to hold an event on parish council and clerk. The social event committee group would like to hold a family fun day on the IRS on the 1st of September 2024. Tradition
Thank you.
liked by the village. The only thing I would say as a parent of school children is I preferred it when it was the week before, because it now it happens on the night before they go back to school.
Unfortunately, it does, although the week before, so a lot of people are still on holiday.
But it was always well attended, even though
I don't know, I can't say, to be honest.
that's a personal point.
Right.
Not, but okay, we have no objection to that.
No.
Okay, so let's we come back to them and ask them for the normal documentation.
Okay, so you're agreeing now? Are you agreeing it free of charge?
Yeah. So, big.
The rest of residents.
Cool. All right. To receive an update on general sale funds raised for the playground. The
Yeah.
rain.
Yes, I'm really chuffed, I'm really pleased. I'm reaming about Jumble. It's in my living room, it's everywhere I go, it's in my bedroom. But I'm literally, it's great. I mean, on the day it was 624 and that I'd already sold stuff separately, which took it up to nearly 800. We're now at 934, but I know that I've sold more on Vincent.
Okay.
Give this your other hand.
All right.
Well, you know, it's great.
Okay.
Gonna do a car boot in a few weeks, so. I know.
So,
Honestly, I'm not on Tinder. I
there'll
don't
be loads of people checking tonight.
Always a surprise.
All right. So just
Was late Sunday.
could I just formally thank Lorraine for organising
Yeah.
the event? Also to everyone.
Come on, I had lots of help. Diane, Jane.
I'm gonna get to that if I get a chance. Obviously all the people that donated, all the people that helped out.
Amazing.
It was a long weekend.
It was.
And obviously, you know, for all those people that came and spent their cash on,
Well, you were amazed.
I was amazed, but there you go.
Yeah.
And
We had amazing donations.
Yeah.
The village turned out absolutely every Sunday without fail, down there, dropping off.
and to show how generous people were, we didn't even get to put all the stuff out.
No, we
There
didn't.
just wasn't any room left in the village hall. So apparently, I mean, I don't know.
Chris's garage is full of stuff I couldn't even take.
Right, 14.3, Councillor Hennendus.
You've not finished?
Oh,
Rest of the
Springers.
Oh,
Springer. So the suggestion is that the money for the jumble sale is specifically funneled towards the play area, and a quote's been received to replace both the springers, which I think Nick sent pictures round of.
The old ones.
The old ones. These are single springers, not four-seaters, which look very dangerous to me anyway for the kids on there. But if you'd like to do that, obviously I've done the budget based on the fact that there's £800 coming from John Sale, but it seems that there's more coming.
Oh, there's one, there will be more.
It shows you how much is going to be left in reserves if you did agree to do that. Replacing the two springers means that you only have to repair the safety matting, which fits in with your biodiversity policy because you're not having to get rid of it, which is impossible to get rid of. It doesn't biodegradate, it doesn't break down, nobody wants it. And actually the quote is over £3,000, so she's trying to get 3 quotes. And I have tried elsewhere, but only 2. We were under their minimum order value. However, the person who gave the quote is the same people who have been working on the playground with the previous parish council, and they're the ones who've done all the repairs to the benches and the tables, and they are the company who are willing to do ad hoc work on it. So I'm happy to go and get more quotes, but I think my suggestion would be that company are good to deal with. They did a good job, and they're willing to do it piecemeal. And they've been very helpful in getting details.
Good job.
Everybody happy with that? Anyone?
Yeah, well, my only question, I guess, which is the same as that last time, is if we're looking to get a big load of money together and do a big project on the playground, is it worth us spending £3,000 now on something that, you know?
Well, I think the feeling for this, or the feeling that I got back from councillors, was it would be quite nice to keep the impetus going. And the big piece of equipment is the multi-tower, which is a minimum of £15,000, and that's for the most basic one you can get. And I think that might take you a little bit of time to get the money towards. The money that you set aside as well to be spent on the playground this year is also the still money that's left, and that's got to be spent by December. So this ticks the box for still money because it's in the playground, and it's a way of getting bits done. That I do know I need to put everything together for you because there are other things in the pipeline. It does seem like your playground, but it may be done in pieces rather than all at once.
Positive.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. So, gonna go forward with that.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry, I was again a little bit premature. That's you proposal to move the bench.
Yes, so this is the Manchester Airport black bench that's down where the erosion area is. We have obviously taped around that area. I don't know whether has everybody been down this recently, so you've seen the area taped off. It doesn't really make any difference. The bench itself is just like a homing area for everybody. Just snaps the tape, goes in, and I think about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, there was a whole bunch of swimmers all on social media took photographs within the in the erosion area itself, stood on the rocks, stood around the rocks, and put it all over social media so that everybody could see the tape. But everybody's just plonking the clothes on the bench, sitting on the bench. There's a fire at the side of the bench. There's rubbish constantly every single day being left around the bench. But it's the erosion. We know that I've contacted Jeremy today or yesterday, and we're hoping that within the next few weeks that he's going to start backing up that area. But he said that it will have to be still sort of fenced around or taped around to protect it for a while. And at the moment, sadly, we are still getting people who are. So I just think that if it's removed from there altogether, that it won't be a reason for them to keep on breaking in to sit on it or throw the clothes on it or whatever.
How long will it be before they then get 2 or 3 of them together and take one of the picnic benches down there?
Well, we keep on taking the picnic benches back, Alison, as soon as they're taken down there. So we are constantly, taking them up and down. It constantly is a constant thing. I mean, at the moment they are all at the top, but they're not. Sorry, they've already been taken down. So, but we are constantly taking them back to the top. So
what would be the cost of moving the bench?
I did send it to
Where to?
Did you? Sorry.
the top.
The top of the hill where the other similar benches are.
Yes, to the right.
I don't know if I got a quote for moving it. Was it
Uh,
Lawton's?
Yes, it was Lawton's. It was, let me just see if I've got it here.
Could I just say a couple of things while you're looking? Is that okay? I suppose one thought is if people are breaking into the tape to get on the bench, could we not just
£140.
could we not just move the tape so that you can still access the bench without going into the taped area? If you see what I mean, because where the bench is,
Well, you're actually in the
that's
erosion area, Nick.
Yeah.
So
But-
I'm sorry, you're very, very, honestly, it's.
well, I was there yesterday, Jane. There's the path and then there's the bench. And I know that the ground around the bench, which used to be sort of tarmac stroke concrete, is a little bit broken down.
If the
But it's
little
not-
bit, if the little bit
it's not.
before it breaks down, you're virtually going to be at the footpath.
But what I'm saying is that that's where the tape could be. So you could actually walk along the footpath, sit on the bench without having to break into the taped area and then carry on your way.
You don't know.
You find, you see people sitting on the bench on a regular basis, on their own, enjoying the view.
Yeah.
No problem. Families now are coming down, and they make a beeline for it. It's because it's like a beach area for them.
And then
So
the
it's a
digging.
focal point.
They'll dig it.
And I just feel that without the bench there, it means that they haven't got the same focal point. And would
You
make,
know what to put
would
the
make
boats.
the,
We found a barbecue there the first nice day, so people actually left a barbecue there. We took bottles.
they take the tape off.
Um,
I've gone through so many rolls of tape. Okay.
And then the other question I had was the backfill. Have we already paid for that? Was that part of when we paid to have the lot to put
we
in for
might
the
have
whole
paid
job?
deposit,
Paid,
we?
paid for the box, not paid for that.
But we quoted and agreed
We
a
did.
quote. So we may not pay, but that is, we've agreed that job.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for it to happen then we'll pay
Yeah.
the rest.
The ground has just been, I mean, it's still wet around that area, but it's, I think he's been waiting for the weather to settle also because obviously the rain and everything just washing everything away. It's, I think he's just waited, we're waiting
That's
to
been very well.
settle.
So in terms of us that have done that, do we need to protect the area?
Yes,
So
but for certainly, I mean, if you start walking on it straight away, it's just all gonna go again. It's gonna have to, I think it's probably gonna have to be protected, possibly for 6 months, maybe more, maybe longer than that. Maybe then until next year, because once you get 6 months in and then we're getting 200 or more swimmers down a day without a shadow of a doubt.
okay, but the answer to the question is yeah. So
Yes, it
do we
will-
also
it
need
needs to be
to
protected.
consider whether we need to put a, what's the word fence, but a protective
Barrier.
barrier around it,
Yeah.
just tape?
I would say so.
And the other thing is, I mean, I know there's great efforts been made to point out the erosion. There are multiple signs down there saying keep off an erosion. But I just wonder whether some signs, maybe you've had these now and seen them, explaining, you know, this is temporarily
Well, we want
blocked off, because they're definitely, having seen on social media and talking to other people, there seems to be a psychological aspect of people that think we're trying to stop them at getting in the water. Now, I know we don't condone people going in the water, but we've never actively blocked people going in the water.
Well, we have got
And so-
erosion keep out and that keeps on getting pulled down.
Yeah, but I just wonder whether we need to get the message out to people, whether it's even a case of the parish council.
Yeah, I think
Can
sometimes.
I just finish, Jane? Just that going on those groups and posting and saying, look, we've got a temporary problem. Can you please temporarily stay off that area? And putting signs up that explain the same thing, rather than, I think some people come down there and think, but they're putting any old sign up to stop us going in the lake. And that's not the issue at all. The issue is the erosion and trying to stop that. And I just wonder whether we could reduce, not all, but many of the people who are bloody mindedly going through that
That's
area.
happening.
And can you not say enter the water here?
Well, that's there's an area.
I don't think we should do that, because I don't think, because you become liable.
Yes, but there's
I
an
don't
area.
think we should be encouraging people.
But there's an area that we haven't taped where we are encouraging people to use. And I would say that people who know that there is a big problem there for us are using it. It's
Just the awkward one.
it's, yeah, this lots of awkward and there's lots of first timers coming every day as well, so.
So we're still running out of time, so we're going to resolve this anyway.
So it's £140 to move it from the bottom to the top.
My question would be, is it premature to move it? And would we be better off protecting the area and getting the erosion countermeasure? But
I think you'll find that doing that the bench is just a home ground for.
So what?
I think people will go, to be honest, I think people will go through that gap because it's an easy gap, whatever we do, unless you actually put some form of barrier there. And if you're putting a barrier there, one of the supports for it would be the chair. It would make it quite a, you could put it around the outside of that. I think moving the chair is not going to reduce the number of people using that hole.
The chair, what I noticed is the chair is used for putting stuff on. That's why they head for it. That's the focal point. We can put all our stuff on there.
But people put it on, I mean, you look at a lot of time of the year, they put it on the floor. It's not going to stop people going through that gap when they move the chair.
What do you think, why did we spend £100 claiming the doing something?
Because we could have probably got sued for that. If somebody had sat on it.
okay, so we're running out of time. I suppose we'll have to take a vote on whether we should move the chair,
Bench.
chair, the bench, the airport bench, which is another location for 150 something pounds.
140.
£140. So do we could assume that we still proposing that?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to second that?
Yep.
Okay, so those that think the bench should be moved currently.
Do you want to lose a bench?
Yes,
Put your hand up then.
Yeah,
You still have to vote.
oh yeah, I want to move it, yeah.
Okay, and those that don't want to move the bench?
I'm going to abstain. I'm not sure whether it's the right thing to do. So I don't have a strong feeling.
That's why I'm
I'm
not
abstaining as
sure.
well, so unfortunately I am now in the difficult situation of having abstained.
Oh,
dear.
I think in view of the fact it's not a huge amount of money, I'm going to go for let's move it. Because, and I haven't got a crystal ball, I don't know what the answer is. But I'd also like to, within the last few minutes, ask or propose that we ask Lawtons to shift themselves and get the works done.
Yeah.
And that when they've completed, if we get a quote from them or anybody else to put some sort of substantial protective around it. But my understanding is that if you rebuild land, it's 2 years. It's the recommended time we try and re-enter. But I'm not sure whether that it needs to be 2 years. That probably the experts would let us know. But so my proposal is that we add that to the quote for the clerk to find whether we can get a more substantial area for the erosion area.
yeah.
So we're talking about the area just in front of where the bench is.
But Lawton's not
Not a muddy area underneath the trees where it's just literally where the rocks are.
Until it's settled in and we can have.
It's the area where everybody goes to really,
So-
Nick. It's their perfect choice of.
Can I have a proposal for the fence, well, not fencing, I don't want to use the word fence, but protecting it once it's been done?
Yeah.
Second, we have a vote for that. You're getting a quote.
You don't have to vote to get a quote, but
Okay.
if they're going to do that, you want it done this month, you want to set a limit to the amount you're willing to pay to have that done.
Yeah.
On the area.
You've got a suggestion.
So we've already got a quote that we've agreed for the backfill work. That's what.
Yeah.
So it's about protecting the area.
The permanent, more permanent.
It's really from the trees on that side. So
Oh, it's 300.
it's on the other side, isn't it?
Okay,
No idea.
so I propose it's up to £300, otherwise it comes back.
We've spent more than that on having the erosion dealt with.
Yeah.
So it seems crazy to not then protect it.
Yeah, because otherwise,
So I would agree. I would second the proposal.
okay, so those people in agreement that we ask acceptable is up to 300. Okay. Anyone against? And then,
I wonder, can I just make one suggestion? I know we're in a short time. I know, so the picnic benches coming and fix them to the ground, as in diagonal stakes through, and then we bolt them to it, and then they can't just be lifted and moved.
Generally, the benches that are in place at the top are all in concrete, so you'd have.
So I don't mean the bench, I mean the picnic benches that keep getting moved.
Well, that's what I think.
But the other thought is, could we not put a bench, you know, the gap where we don't mind if people walk through to look at the water or paddle their toes in? What about if there was some sort of bench or picnic bench there? Might that not encourage people as they come down the hill and they see a bench there, they might put their stuff on that?
Well, you get the
and
first
then-
family, don't you? And then the other 100 families follow down.
But the other 100 families,
Yeah, I
if
get
currently the benches,
Yeah, I get it, yeah. Remove
You
the
know,
focus.
just move the focus to where we are happy for the focus to be.
To be honest, with you, I think what will probably happen is you'll find the picnic benches suddenly appear where the bench has gone.
I mean, you might be right, so I don't know.
You know, I mean, that's where
Yeah, but we
we
have
have been
to-
taken down
Yeah,
to that
try, I
point.
think. Can we park that one, because I don't think we're gonna get a resolution, but maybe at the next meeting, people could come with some suggestions of where we could put. I think, but the one that I did want to pick up on was Nick's point about some text. But could we agree that,
We had agreed signs right at the beginning.
No. this is for, I think the suggestion was that when someone posts about this erosion, that we have a standard text
Yeah, that's
that
good.
the parish council website could put on saying, this is our explanation as to why we're doing it. It's temporary, whatever. And if I suggest we just say, we'll circulate that text around, get it agreed, and then every time we see something, we let, I don't know, myself, Simon and the clerk know, we can just take the text and go back and then hopefully educate people. Did do my own personal education for some people this week. But I propose that. Can I have a second for that?
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
we'll vote for that. Okay, so we're going to develop some text that we're going to use every time I see some comment about erosion. I think otherwise we're just throwing money.
And can we have some sign guides explaining it as well?
Sorry,
Yeah, I mean, I know
I
you're
think
saying
they'll
that we've
just-
got social media, but signs.
I think they'll just be. We're throwing good money out of that.
Okay, well, let's park that one, bring it back to another meeting, because we are literally out of time. Alison, you've got a few minutes to convince us some wildflowers.
Whilst I was on Clover Drive, spoke to Jeremy Lawton, and Jeremy Lawton said it would be do you think it would be a good idea? How did the council take it? If I didn't cut the grass in some particular area and you could put wildflower plugs in there, and you can get 50 plugs for £86.36.
Yes. This
Do
is
we
on
want
the
to-
flagpole side.
This is on either side.
Let's make it flagpole.
I bet it's flagpole because on the other side it'll get trampled.
Right, flagpole side then.
The only comment I would have on this is, I don't think 50 plugs will make a difference. I'm not against people doing it. I'm not sure it's what parish council should be spending its money on. That's my,
According to Jeremy, if you plant the plugs, preferably as soon as possible now, they will sell seed and double.
Is Jeremy not getting paid to cut the grass though?
Yeah.
We've agreed that, so now we're paying 50 plugs and we're not cutting the grass.
No, we will still be cutting the grass, he's leaving a portion of the grass. Or he was
Yeah,
proposing
like
it.
a meadow.
So to try and bring some colour and brightness to the area.
Would we allow it on the land if somebody donated the £86.36 to do it?
I think so.
I'd like to donate £86.36 to the council.
I'll go house with you.
That is wonderful, thank you guys.
We can go get more, because I don't think 50 is a lot.
No.
Okay,
Okay,
anybody else who wants to donate, please?
yeah.
so the proposal is that we allow residents
So the amendment
And council
proposal is that we,
to plant.
There might
in that
be
area.
more residents who want to
Yeah,
give.
so anyone who wants to buy
Can
some,
I put a post on Facebook?
I don't see
well,
why.
I don't think we want a free for all of anyone just going on there
No,
and planting.
they can
It's got to be-
donate.
Yes.
Okay, so anyone who wants to donate to the cause.
Okay, well done. Ambulance.
I will match your general solution.
You sound like you've got 160 quid, Alice.
Okay, so I need to confirm the next meeting. It's the 6th of June, 2024, at 7:45.
Okay, see
Confirmed.
you then.
End of meeting.
Yeah,
Relax. Thank you very much.